guys, welcome back to my week of WoW for the Sims 4 Growing Together expansion pack. So this is day 5. If you've never watched one of my week of WoWs before, perhaps you did not stick around to the end of the of day 4. I kind of explained briefly what day 5 entails. Day 5 is when I really go over my overall review, overall feelings of the pack. If I recommend it, if I don't, I kind of briefly go over what I talked about in previous days and just kind of discuss my feelings about the pack. So, just kind of jumping right on into it. Day 1, we focused on Cass, and I am not impressed with the Cass items in this pack. I think we're really lacking in hairs. I think we're really lacking in any form of accessories. I'm really disappointed with how little we got for toddler clothing. And even for infant clothing, all we got were outfits. I don't think we got any new shirts or pants, or I don't even think we got any shoes for infants, which is really, really disappointing. And I just feel like so many of the items look like they could have come from other packs. It's almost like they were cast items that maybe got cut from being in Cottage Living, Dream Home Decorator, stuff like that. It was like those items got cut and they really wanted to put them in somewhere else, and so they put them in this game. I don't think the styles match. I feel like it's just kind of all over the place. A lot of it looks reused. A lot of it looks very similar to things from other packs, other kits, that we already have, like items that we already have, just maybe with like a different pouch with a zipper on the front, or different patterns, and like the sleeves are a little longer. Like they all look very similar. Sorry. Nothing looks cohesive or new, is how I feel about the Create-A-Sim. I'm not impressed with the cast. I would not recommend this pack solely based on the Create-A-Sim. On day 2, I did not do a good job at looking over the build buy items, but we did explore the world of San Sequoia. Also, I don't have this actually like playing. Normally I have it going so like everything's moving and the sun's rising and setting and stuff, but I have an infant and a toddler that I don't want to risk getting taken away, so that is why this view is not moving. Day 2, we went around all the houses, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of the houses do not look like they don't look original to me. They look like they belong in Evergreen Harbor, I think is the eco lifestyle world. That's not to say they're ugly houses. I just don't think that they're not something new, and I don't feel like they necessarily fit the world. The world itself is just kind of meh. I don't find the world impressive. I think the world is very generic looking, and I think I've seen a lot of complaints about the world, that a lot of people were hoping that it was going to be something more diverse, and it isn't. It very easily could be, a neighboring town to Willow Creek or to New Crest. It's not something new, not something exciting, not something that stands out. It's just very meh. I'm not saying it's not a cute world, but it does not blow me out of the water. It did not make me go, oh my gosh, so cute. Oh my gosh, I love this. Like, I don't feel like I had that reaction to any of the build buy items. Well, other than that one bassinet, I feel like I kind of got really excited over that, but nothing really blew me away. I also feel like the build buy items also do not really match in style. I feel like a few pieces go together, and then these few pieces go together, and these few pieces go together, but not like there isn't a general theme across the build buy stuff, and maybe some people like that. I personally don't. There's quite a few pieces of furniture that I don't think very highly of, but I'm not a builder, so it is not the end of the world for me. But if you really only play The Sims for build buy, or maybe you were interested in having another world to play in, I can't say that I would recommend the game based on the build buy or the world either. Then we move on to day 3 and day 4. So day 3 and day 4 in every week of WoW are gameplay days. So day 3, we focused on what it would be like to have an infant, or a newborn and an infant. I really wanted to see what how the newborn became an infant, and kind of what the difference was between infant and toddler. Because when I took a look at the infant update last week, last Thursday, when the update was released, I thought the infants were glorified toddlers. They had practically nothing special about them. I was not impressed. I was actually rather disappointed. I felt like we were really lacking in items. I felt like the infants were just crawling toddlers. And I questioned in day 3, I couldn't remember if it was day 3 or day 4, but I questioned if without the pack, I noticed when I was playing with the infant update that my infant could already crawl. My infant could already sit in the high chair. But with the pack, my infant needed to learn like a bunch of motor skills in order to be able to sit up, which then meant they could be in the high chair. And they could not crawl. They had to, learn how to roll over and how to sit up and all this stuff. And I'm pretty sure that comes with the pack. And at first I thought it was just because I made the infant in Create a Sim and then placed them, which meant they already had most of their skills, but I don't think that is how it works. I think it was just because I was playing with infants without the pack. They have blocked so much content that should be base game. They've blocked it behind a paywall for this pack. There's no changing tables in the base game now. I feel like there's very little to actually do with the infants. There's very little for the infants to do. I am just the infant update is so unimpressive compared to the pack, but you have to spend money in order to get all the good infant content, which really upsets me. And I briefly spoke about in my video on the infant update that maybe if the Sims team had announced, okay, hey, infants are coming at the beginning of March, and then everybody was all excited for infants, drop the lackluster empty infant update that we got. And then a week or so later had been hey, here's the new expansion pack that's going to be coming out, in a couple of weeks. And then they come out with Growing Together. Maybe I wouldn't feel so let down and disappointed with the update. But so much of what everyone was expecting to come with infants was locked behind this paywall of having to have the pack. If you don't have the pack, you get really crappy infants. And I don't like that. That makes me very nervous for where The Sims is going to go in the future, what this could hold, what this could mean. I'm afraid that they're going to start locking base game things behind a paywall. Things that people have been asking for years. They're going to lock it behind a paywall. And not everybody has the money to just go out and buy a pack when it first comes out. And I just find it really unfair. Really upsetting. And the same kind of goes for the compatibility and not necessarily the quirks, but what's it called? Oh, the milestones. I feel like those should have been base game. But the thing is, I didn't really do much with compatibility when, on days 3 and 4. My Sims that I made, I didn't actually make them, but the Sims that I played with were compatible with each other. They met one Sim the entire time. One random Sim decided to come hang out with us. He stayed for a day and then I kicked him out. And he was not compatible with Madison. I don't know if he was compatible with Dax, but it was just, I don't know. I felt like there was, I didn't sense tension between Madison. Like, Madison was not really reacting to Kyle. So I didn't know they weren't compatible or anything like that until I saw, like, the puzzle pieces not fitting together on the little profile picture. I felt like the compatibility thing was just kind of like, it's whatever. It did not make or break gameplay for me. What else? I was really hoping to experience my sim. I really wanted my sim to get laid off. That did not happen, but I was really hoping that it would. I just wanted to see what that was like. Because I guess there's supposed to be, like, either, I don't know if there's, like, ways to prevent being laid off necessarily, that, like, if it gives you, like, a heads up, like, hey, you're getting laid off, you have, like, 2 more days to work, or, hey, if, like, you need to prove to us that you're a good employee to keep, so you better, kick it into gear, or we're gonna, you're gonna get laid off. I'm sorry. I saw somewhere that, like, if you send your sim in and have them work hard, they're less likely to get laid off. But I didn't get to experience the workplace rivalries. I didn't do anything with the midlife crisis, and I totally could have, but the video was getting really long, and I was just like, I'm tired. So I didn't do anything with the midlife crisis, but similarly to The Sims 3, when your sim ages up into an adult, they hit a midlife crisis. And as I've kind of seen it explained, it's like being given a mini aspiration. They have certain tasks they can choose to complete in order to get the midlife crisis to end, or they can ignore the tasks and just kind of suffer through the midlife crisis until the moodlet goes away. Again, very similar to The Sims 3, where they'd have, like, wishes pop up. If you promised the wish, you had to complete it. There was no getting rid of it. If you did, promise the wish, then your sim got, like, a bad moodlet, like it was a negative moodlet towards the midlife crisis. Or you could choose not to do anything about it. It would stay neutral. It would just kind of sit in the sim's, like, hotbar, and you were like, oh, I'm in a midlife crisis for 4 days, and nope, it's gone. So I don't know how it necessarily affects the Sims, but that's a thing. I'm trying to think of what else. I didn't do anything with the rec center. Neither of the girls reached childhood, but there's, like, a confidence level, I guess. I don't really know what to do with that. I'll be exploring a lot more of this stuff in depth in my I'm a Lover challenge once my sim has a child. Let's see, we had a baby shower, which, I mean, it was technically successful, but it had pretty good, I felt like, pretty good things to, like, talk about, like, give gifts and set off the cannon and talk to each other, but I don't know if it was just my Sims. I don't know if it's maybe a glitch with the update or the pack, but I felt like every time I told my Sims to do something, not technically not every time, but it felt like almost every time I told my Sims to do something, they wouldn't do what I asked. It would just sit there queued up, and they wouldn't do it. They would do something else, or they would completely ignore it and do something else entirely. Or, like, they wouldn't even be in the room, like, with the infant. They're at, like, the end of day 4. I'm trying to get my infant and my toddler to interact, and out of nowhere, here comes mom, decides to pick up the infant, then put the infant down. Or I was trying to have her put the infant in the crib, and she was picking her up and putting her down, and picking her up and putting her down, and like, that was extremely aggravating. Just my Sims just did not seem to be doing what they were told. And again, I don't know if that was just my Sims being Sims, if it was a glitch. I'm not sure if this is a glitch or not, but I did not get mail. I know I had no friends, but I didn't get any mail or any bills for, like, the first, like, 8 days I was playing. And I feel like normally when I play, it's like every 4 to 5 days or so I have bills. So either I have really poor, like, I'm really bad at managing time in the game and realizing how long it passes between bill cycles, or the build cycles are just further apart. I don't know. Overall, I don't think it's a bad pack. I am not blown away, but I'm also like not necessarily disappointed. I'm disappointed that so much of this stuff should be included in base game and isn't. So much of this stuff should be free, and again, they're locking it behind a paywall, which really frustrates me. However, like, as a game pack, I think it's pretty nice. I feel like this is probably one of the best put together game packs. I was very, very hesitant to get excited for this. Now, like, Werewolves came out fine for the most part. I didn't think Werewolves was too glitchy, but My Wedding Stories, like, scarred me, okay? My Wedding Stories was so broken. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. And ever since, I now refuse to get super excited for like any kind of game pack for The Sims 4, because The Sims 4 has become very accustomed to releasing broken things. They seem to not care as much that what they are releasing is broken, doesn't work, doesn't do what it's supposed to, what it's promised to do. So, I don't know. I feel like this is probably one of the cleanest packs they've released in a while. I think Growing Together really falls in line with, like, Parenthood. If you are, like, all about being, like, a family simmer, like, raising a family, having a really close-knit family, or even having, like, some family drama where, like, oh, these siblings don't get together, but they both love their parents, or maybe they hate their parents, but they love each other, and it's, like, the kids against the parents, or, like, I don't know. Like, this pack would be really good for that kind of gameplay. So, like, I guess I'd recommend it. I'm very caught up. I'm very hung up. I'm very hung up on it being behind a paywall, and I'm going to sound like a broken record for the next, like, month or two until I get over it. I realize that The Sims is just going to be The Sims. EA is just going to be EA. No matter how much we complain, they're not going to fix it. They're not going to do anything about it because they're just a massive cash grab. I don't like promoting a pack that contains a bunch of stuff that should be free, but unfortunately it's not free. And if this is something you want to play with, go for it, get it. My friend who's constantly complaining about being broke, she went ahead and bit the bullet and got it the other day. She loves it. I think it really just depends on if it's, like, your kind of thing or not. So take that how you will, I guess. But with that being said, that's really all I have to say. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. This upcoming week we'll be resuming back to our usually scheduled programming. I don't know where my sticky note with my schedule went. I have no idea where that's gone. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.